This audiobook is distributed by Christian Audio. Please visit christianaudio.com to offer your impressions of this work and to explore additional titles.
The Grave Robber: How Jesus Can Make Your Impossible Possible. Don't miss the miracle. No one could perform the signs you are doing if God were not with him. John chapter 3, verse 2. Chapter 1, The Day Water Blushed. For nearly 30 years, the one who had crafted the universe with his voice crafted furniture with his hands. And he was good at what he did. No crooked table legs ever came out of the carpenter's shop in Nazareth. But Jesus was more than a master carpenter. He was also God incognito. His miraculous powers rank as history's best-kept secret for nearly 3 decades. But that all changed the day water blushed in the face of its creator. That was the day the woodbender became the waterbender. Jesus manipulated the molecular structure of water and turned it into wine, 757 bottles, no less. And nothing but the best. This wasn't just wine, it was fine wine. Sometimes God shows up, sometimes God shows off. That's what Jesus did on the 3rd day of a wedding feast in Cana, and that was just the beginning. 34 distinct miracles are recorded in the Gospels, while countless more went unrecorded. John's Gospel spotlights 7 miracles, unveiling 7 dimensions of Jesus' miraculous power. Like the sun rising in the east, each miracle reveals another ray of God's glory until Lazarus steps out of the shadow of his tomb and into the light of the grave robber. The 7 miracles are 7 signs, and each sign points straight to Jesus. You may be listening to this book because you need a miracle. Don't we all at some point in our lives? And God wants to do now what he did then. But this is more than a course in miracles. It's a book about the only one who can perform them. So let me offer a word of caution at the outset. Don't seek miracles. Follow Jesus. And if you follow Jesus long enough and far enough, you'll eventually find yourself in the middle of some miracles. Everyone wants a miracle, but here's the catch. No one wants to be in a situation that necessitates one. Of course, you can't have one without the other. The prerequisite for a miracle is a problem. And the bigger the problem, the greater the potential miracle. If the wedding party in Cana hadn't run out of wine, there would have been no need for the winemaker to do what he did. What the bride and groom perceived as a problem was really a perfect opportunity for God to reveal his glory. And nothing has changed since Jesus turned water into wine, healed a man born blind, or called Lazarus out of his tomb 4 days after his funeral. He is the God who can make your impossible possible. Chapter 2, Miraculous. On a January morning in 2007, a world-class violinist played 6 of Johann Sebastian Bach's most stirring concertos for the solo violin on a 300-year-old Stradivarius worth $3.5 million. 2 nights before, Joshua Bell had performed a sold-out concert where patrons gladly paid $200 for nosebleed seats. But this time, the performance was free. Bell ditched his tux with coattails, donned a Washington Nationals baseball cap, and played incognito outside the L'Enfant Plaza metro station. Street musicians are not an uncommon sight or sound for Washingtonians. In fact, my son Parker has played his guitar outside metro stations a time or two, trying to make a little extra spending cash. Amazingly, his tip jar fared about as well as that of virtuoso Joshua Bell. The experiment was originally conceived by Washington Post columnist Gene Weingarten and filmed by Hidden Camera. Of the 1,097 people who passed by, only 7 stopped to listen. The 45-minute performance ended without applause or acknowledgement. Joshua Bell netted $32.17 in tips, which included a $20 spot from one person who recognized the Grammy award-winning musician. On an average workday, nearly 1 million passengers ride Washington's metro system, and L'Enfant Plaza is one of the busiest stops. A stampede of tourists and government employees hustle and bustle through turnstiles, trying to get where they're going as quickly as possible. But those circumstances don't discredit or disqualify the question
Sample complete. Ready to continue?